Hey, Doug, I'm here for Doc Sports, and we are going to talk about the one live sport that is still continuing, and that is horse racing. Horse racing is known as the sport of kings, but you don't have to be a king in order to afford to bet horse racing. No, you don't, not whatsoever. Since most of you, including me, until recently, have been bored to death with no sports to bet on, horse racing turns out to be, in my opinion at least, and others, a very good alternative. Because we got no NBA, we got no March Madness, we got no NHL, we got no baseball for the foreseeable future, and we're looking for distractions. And this is where horse racing can fit in nicely while we're waiting for the virus to go away, and it's where we can get back to betting the sports that we love to bet. Now, horse racing, my strategy, to be perfectly honest, and what I'm focusing on, is for those that are either newer to the sport, okay, or newer, okay, from that standpoint, and are looking for something else to do. You can do horse racing. You can do it in a variety of ways. There's lots of methods. I take a very conservative approach for this because, again, I'm assuming that many of you watch this video and are anxious to be sports bettors, are looking for something a little bit different to do. Don't need to spend a lot of money in order to do it. So try and bring it that way to you so that you understand it, you can learn about it, and figure out some things on your own at the same time. Now, one of the things that comes up about horse racing, at least in my opinion, it's a lot like being a baseball hitter. Baseball hitter, that for the most part, the very best, get 3 hits out of every 10 at-bats. And in horse racing, if you get 3 winners out of 10 races, that's considered a very good day. Now, some days could be a lot better depending on what horses that you take or what races that you take to where you can get yourself some winners. But along with this, though, there's plenty of non-winners. So this is part of the adjustment that you have to make, is to mentally understand that you're only going to get so many. But with my money management techniques and methods, you can help yourself by reducing the losses and set yourself up to be in a better position to win. That doesn't mean a more experienced horse bettor can't use my picks. Of course, anybody can. It's just that the focus is going to be, let's just say, a little more simplistic and not of that of a what would be considered a quote-unquote horse player. All right? So things that I look for, okay, that I think are important. I use the daily racing form as the product to look for the information, because like the other sports, this is about information and getting the best information that you possibly can, and the daily racing form gives you that option. For things I look at: hot jockeys, looking for a jockey that has been riding well, working in concert with the horse. Very important. If you get a hot jockey, can give you a bunch of victories even in a single day. Top 10 trainers. The best trainers at various tracks, and this information is available at the daily racing form. Those give you the stats that show you who the top 10 trainers are. And for the most part, the top 10 trainers win 80% or more of the races at any particular track. Beyer figures. Andrew Beyer is the one that came up with them, a longtime writer for the Washington Post about horse racing and other topics. He came up with this, big passion of his with horse racing. Basically, he's the Bill James of horse racing. Came up with something innovative. It's a way to track the speed of a horse and compare it to the other horses on there. Consensus picks, okay? We don't all know everything there is to know about horse racing. So you can get information that gives you consensus picks of what are the best horses on a particular day to look at. You take your information, you blend it with that. That's what I do, okay? And you can have a consensus of information, and you can learn something. Also look for different types of horses that either have the ability to run off the pace or are front runners. Some horses like to hold back and like to just gallop right down the home stretch and come back and win a lot of races. Very typical in horse racing, as I'm sure as you probably have seen. Front runners, there's plenty of horses that just like to run the front. They don't like to be towards the back or in the mix. That's why in some cases horses wear blinkers, so they don't have that and get spooked by being around another horse when they're running, okay, towards the end of a race. So that's another thing to know, along with horses that run better on turf or dirt. Now, there's some basic wagers to follow. Win, place, and show is the most basic terms. Win is what it is. Your horse, you pick it to win, it has to finish first. Place, you do that, your bet then has to be, your horse has to finish either first and second, or show, which is the easiest way to win. Your horse has to finish first, second, or third. Now, the payouts both on place and show are going to be lower than what they would be than on a win. But if you're, again, newer to horse racing, you're more interested, I would think, at winning than you are at trying to be an expert horse player right out of the gate, right? So you can do that. And the pricing is very affordable. $2 is the minimum bet, okay, on tracks. And there's some tracks that have specials sometimes where it can even be $1. But figure $2 per race, or for either win, place, or show, or any combination. Another thing that you can do is do win, place, and show on a particular horse. So what the advantage of that is that you get more chances to win. So, for example, you take your horse, say take the 4 horse for win, place, and show, $2 a piece. That's $6 that you've wagered on that. Now, along with that, what you're going to find out is that if your horse wins, you win 3 times. If your horse finishes second, you'll get money for second and third, so place and show. Just you won't get as much. And if your horse hits show, you win something, but you're probably going to lose a little bit on your overall bet. However, think of it this way: it's better to bet, in this case, $6 on win, place, and show, and get some money back, as opposed to playing $6 on a horse to win, and it finishes anything other than first, you're out $6. Okay, if that's the case. So that's something else to consider. There are other wagers to do. For example, there's an exacta, much more difficult to win because you have to pick the 2 horses to finish first and second. There's a quinella that also is in that mix. Now, quinella, you pick 2 horses, and it can still be $2 for a quinella. But on your 2 choices, so say you got the 6 and the 5 for that race. They have to finish first and second, but you get 2 options on that, either 6 and 5 or 5 and 6. Now, your payouts are not going to be the same as an exacta, but you got more chances to win. There's other things like daily doubles, pick 3, pick 4, pick 6. I'm not going to recommend those at this time. Again, if you're newer to it, that can come with more experience. There's other ways to try and go about that. Not to say you can't do it, because in many cases they're either 50 cents, $1, or in some cases less on some of those different types of races. But that would be up to you to choose that. Something else that would be kind of fun to do is what's called a show parlay. So let's just say that on FS1 on the weekends, there's some races, okay, that you would like to watch with your buddies, maybe individually. Somebody has a legal wagering account that you can use. You put in each $10. You bet $40 on your horse to show, and it does. And you end up, say, winning $80. Now, you can parlay that, or you can just roll it over to the next race. You can handle that any number of different ways. And if you continue to have success and keep winning, you're just adding up dollars and dollars and dollars, and you can get out at any time you want. Okay, so that could be fun. All right, having whether texting back and forth, or if you want to get on the phone and do whatever it is with the way the world is at the moment, hey, that can be a nice distraction for what's going on in the world. So those are a few options to get you going with some horse racing. Docs has a great deal going right now, just $15 for a race card. For example, for any one of my race cards, just $15 any particular day. And most of the time I got races, daily races from 5 to 10 races. So $15 for 5 or 10 races, quite a deal. Puts more money back in your pocket. So this is Doug Upstone. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, give me a like. Otherwise, I'll be back with some more videos very shortly. This is Doug Upstone for Doc Sports. Until then, I'm out.